Welcome to Who Taught You, a platform where we discuss a plethora of things. And today we're going to be discussing keeping up with the Joneses. Who taught us about that? But before we begin, let's go ahead and do some housekeeping. I want you to go ahead and like and subscribe. Hit the buttons below. So, Jen, we back together again, girl. You been in Bermuda and you came back?
I came back, you know. Me and
You will never part. Color purple. I'm so happy to see you, girl. I missed you.
I miss you all the time.
What?
Yeah.
What? Well, you right on time today.
Yes.
So, I don't know who taught me about keeping up with the Joneses. I know I probably learned it here in America, but have you ever heard the statement, fake it until you make it? How do you feel about that?
Well, to be honest, I think there is some relevance to it, if I'm being honest. Because you don't need to let everybody know you're struggling, right? Everybody don't need to know you ain't got no money. But I think there's an appropriate time for it, right? Like, so if you are aspiring to be better, right?
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with thinking that you're better, dressing that you're better, and all of that within reason, though.
Okay.
Because I don't subscribe to the fact that you got to spend your whole paycheck on a wardrobe so you can fake it till you make it.
I think I've done that before.
Listen, I can't do it. You know what, though? You can still do that. You can still keep up with the Joneses without spending all your money.
Okay.
I'll let y'all in on them secrets.
Okay.
No, but you can.
Okay.
So it's two things. I'll answer two ways. I think that it is necessary, right? Because you want to aspire to greatness, so you can't be looking crazy.
Okay.
Right? Because you're like, I want to be over here. I want to be the CEO. I want to have my own business. And people are superficial. So they will judge you based on what you look like. And so understanding that, then yes, you have to come correct. You have to come with certain things. But I do not subscribe to the fact that you have to go broke doing it. So I'm not a keeping up with the Joneses kind of girl. I'll be like, mind your business, Joneses. that's how I do, but you know.
Well, for some time I was following Dave Ramsey, and I kind of have graduated now. I'm doing Tony Robbins. Yeah. I'm trying to read his book right now. So I know that a lot of times people are like keeping up with the Joneses, but the Joneses are broke. And this is so true, so factual. I do remember a time in my life where I felt like I needed one of those cars that I made it. I call it I made it car.
The I made it car.
And I know that I thought it was only my brown skinned people that I used to see in these I made it cars, which was to me the BMW. But I see a lot of my white counterparts too. They have the I made it car, or they'll have a Porsche. And one time in my life, I was working for this telecommunications company, and down the street in Buckhead there was the BMW dealership.
Yeah.
And I said, I want me a BMW. And then I started thinking, I said, it is just a thing. It is just a thing. And I could get one at any time in my life. So I decided not to get one. I have never owned a high-end vehicle. Have you?
No. Listen. Did you just hear what I said? I ain't let y'all know the secret about how you can look like you keeping them up with the Joneses for the Lolo. But no, I have never. The closest I get is in my brother's car. When he let me drive his Corvette, remember when we was in college and he let me drive it, I thought I was the shit. But yeah, I didn't have to pay that note.
Well, I remember my ex-husband, I don't believe he had a Porsche. He had not a BMW. I think he had a Porsche. And I remember, me and my ex-husband were still friends. So I remember getting his car and driving it into the city in New York when I lived in New York. And then it was so costly for parking. I told him he could keep it. I don't need a ride. I'll ride the trains because it's more costly to keep up with the Joneses, right? But even today, people in Georgia, and I can only talk about Georgia because this is where I live, right? people will have a big mansion. They'll own live in a big mansion, and you will think that they own it. They don't even own it. Or if they own it, once you go inside, they are sleeping on the box spring and the mattress on the floor.
Girl.
So in Georgia, they tend to try to keep up with the Joneses. And even now that majority of California has moved here for the movie industry, yeah, they gonna keep up with the Joneses, all right.
But I think it's unfortunate because we live in such a capitalistic society that it's normal for that, right? Like people think that that's a normal part of growing old and amassing certain things, and I think I've learned different because I live in Bermuda, and I think in America it's a hugely credit-based society, so you could keep up with the Joneses if you're willing to leverage your entire paycheck, right?
Oh, most definitely.
And I feel like that's the lie that we've been told, right? It's like, oh yeah, you get this credit card with 20 however many percent interest, you can get that Gucci purse, or you can get that car, and you can pay that note or whatever, when in reality you can't really afford to keep up with the Joneses.
That is true. That is true. I remember in high school, my mother gave me a credit card. You know how when parents put their children on the credit card, don't do that. Do not do that, okay? I'm telling you that. Because people still do that to this day. Well, I did not run up my mother's credit card bill, but one day I was feeling sad. And I used to live in New York, and then I was living in Florida. And I decided I'm going to go buy a Gucci bag. So 17-year-old me, I went and used my mother's credit card, and I bought a Gucci bag.
She still got both operating legs and arms. She's still alive. What?
Yes, I did that because I thought that things made me happy. And I learned later on, things do not make you happy. I even, at one point, like people have certain things that they love. There's some people who like expensive shoes, so they're going to get those Louis Vuitton. See, I can't even say it, so that means I don't get to buy that
later.
And people will buy expensive purchase. So I had Gucci, Pucci, Louis, every type of bag.
I had Pucci. That's not a really. Is it Pucci's real? Yeah, that's the one I had. I had the one with the two P's looking at each other.
Oh, the ones they sell in New York on Canal Street.
Yes, honey, that's what I had. Try to pretend.
And the funny thing is, I had all those bags and still have them. And they are sitting in my closet now, and I'm now going to Marshall's and buying the cheaper brands because those are no longer my things. I've learned that, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. I know, I can make some change.
Okay.
But I also remember when I was in college, people would take their student loans and go and buy cars. And a lot of people will have these expensive cars. And guess what? They have nowhere to live.
No money.
They'll be leaving in no money.
They be trying to take you out in that cute car, and you be like, "Oh, look at him, girl." He be like, you got this?"
Exactly.
You gonna pay for this?
No, that's not you. No. So, those are things as far as trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't even have the money, but you're buying this expensive car, and you're taking your student loan, which should be used for your education. But I also believe that America wants you to be in debt.
Yes.
We have a high debt ceiling, and they keep talking about, what we're going to do about the ceiling, but you keep giving more debt out to people.
Yeah.
And I hate the credit system because the credit system, I now learned that most of it, like I think it's like 35% or so, is on how much debt you have and how you pay that debt. Now think about when we first went to college, right? Because I learned about credit card debt in college, right? So when they were offering all those college credit cards, come on, get them credit cards, them credit cards. You had no debt and no credit. Does that make any sense? If you have no debt, you should have a high credit score. I think it's upside down. But back to keeping up with the Joneses.
So for me, I would define keeping up with the Joneses. I think it's a negative thing. Do you think?
Yeah, I do. I think it's good to aspire. Like, say, for instance, you are somebody I admire and I look up to. It's good to aspire to go there, but with hard work and not going to where you don't have any money just to put on a show.
Just to put on a show.
No.
Like I said earlier, I think it's important to have the goals and see someone you're like, yeah, I want that. But it has to be within reason. And so I'm going to give y'all the secret, right? About what to do and how you can still look professional, you can look expensive and all of that without having to spend all the money necessarily. And I think people are catching on to this now. They're not just my secrets. But anyway, one of the things that I enjoy doing is shopping at thrift stores and Goodwill. Okay. Now, a lot of the designer pieces that I've gotten, in fact, my outfit. Do you like my jacket?
It's hot. It's hot.
Thank you, girl. So my point is, you can actually get these high-end pieces. I found this beautiful Yves Saint Laurent bag.
What?
$4, honey.
What?
$4. It is possible. So I'm saying that if you have the need, or if you're like, yes, I want to look like this person, she is always fly, you can still be fly on a budget, right?
Oh, most definitely.
So you can keep up with the Joneses, but you can still have a little bit of money in your pocket. And that's what I would encourage. I think it's fine to want to look sharp and be sharp, because you do. People will look at you and respect you thinking that you have money or you have something, and maybe create opportunities for you. I don't know why people are like that, though. If you already got something, they want to give you something else.
But have you noticed, I remember I worked at one time Ticketmaster. And this was in our college years. And I remember one time, like, the president or the owner of Ticketmaster was coming.
Yeah.
And they said that he looked like a bum. A bum.
Okay.
Now, this is the thing about keeping up with the Joneses. Okay, they say the Joneses are broke, but the real rich people, the real billionaires and millionaires, I know people who are millionaires and billionaires, and they will buy an expensive jeans and will not wash the jeans and wear it multiple
times. That's just nasty, y'all. It ain't got nothing to do with no Joneses or nothing else. That's just nasty.
They won't wash the jeans. Or they'll buy the cheapest. They'll buy an expensive garment, but they will wear it. And they will not buy multiple of those expensive garments. Right. Okay, so also in Georgia, this is not just Georgia, this is statewide, and also countries, different countries have adopted this. Okay, so I think last year I learned about that if you wanted a certain car, high-end or low-end car, that the car dealerships were now offering a subscription service.
What the hell?
Yes.
What that
So
mean?
you could be fly and you could pay, like, say, for instance, BMW was doing this. BMW has now stopped in 2021, in the middle of 2021. I think, like, say, for instance...
You mean leasing a car?
It's not considered leasing, but it's very similar to leasing. So this is what you do. All right, so average Joe goes to let's say Volkswagen. Yeah. They go to Volkswagen because Volkswagen still has this. And we're going to pay about $830 per month. And we're going to switch out our cars twice a month. And this covers your car payment, your insurance, and any type of maintenance on the vehicle. So
we switch out our car twice a month to something newer or something different?
Yeah, something different. So you looking fly. So ladies and gentlemen, be aware, like the Fugees used to say, Lauryn Hill, girls watch out and guys watch out, because these people are pretending that they own these vehicles. And so you see somebody in a fly car, you like, ooh, I'm going out with him, he got a nice house. He is renting, or she is renting, or she is subscribing to these things. Now, I think this is a waste of money. Yeah, I think owning is better than leasing, subscribing to these things. And
I've never even heard of that before, though. That's crazy.
Yes, BMW just stopped. Maybe because they was mashing up their cars. But who knows? I don't know. Allegedly, right?
Right.
So You could do these things and put on appearances like you are bigger than what you are.
Yeah.
But this is a thing.
To
it
what
starts
end,
deeper,
though?
right?
Yeah. Yep.
About self-love.
Yep.
Right? And not giving a damn of who thinks you are, what you are. And my dream is to be a millionaire, but to walk around and look like I'm broke as hell. And then when somebody try me, then I pull out my millionaire card.
You be like,
they be like, oh,
what?
did you know this millionaire
What?
was here? Whatever.
What?
That's what I want to do.
I just think, I don't know, maybe I'm just gotten older and cynical, who knows. But I feel like as long as whatever it is that you're doing, you're happy. Like, if it makes you happy to do the things. But I feel like when you say keeping up with the Joneses, it really does involve what other people think about you, right?
Yes.
Because you're trying to keep up with what they look like and do the things that they do, and you don't even know what's going on in their bank account.
Exactly.
Right?
You could have, let me tell you the thing also about credit. You could have a high credit score and be in so much friggin' debt. Okay? But just because you pay the minimum payment each month, your credit score is looking good. Or you haven't used so much of your credit. Like, say for instance, you have a credit card, your available credit. You haven't used so much. So, people go on social media because social media is our thing now, right? YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. We also have Snapchat. We also have Instagram. And you see these people, and they look so good, and they look so great. And listen, these people don't even have a pot to piss in. Please.
That's so sad.
Stop keeping up with the Joneses. And don't go into debt because you see other people that they have it. Because you don't know how they're paying for it. They're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
But you know what? I think going back to the whole question is who taught you. It really is. It really is a good question to ask, because it's like, where do you actually get the desire to even do that? Like, is that something that you learn from your parents, or do you mirror what you've seen other people do? Like, how do you arrive at you need to do this? I had a conversation with my friend who's a lawyer, and she was saying that, yeah, she was a lawyer, so you think, oh, she making all the money or whatever. And she was like, all her friends in the law firms, they had the Beamers and they had all of this, and so she thought she had to have all of this and the Beamers and all that stuff. And of course, she ain't had no money. She just started to be a lawyer,
And had to pay them student loans
and credit cards. So you're, racking up all this debt trying to keep up with them because you think that's how it's supposed to be. And in reality, you are putting yourself in more debt. You're gonna be working to pay off that cute Gucci purse you bought. And not even getting to really realize the benefit of your job and of the education and of all the learning that got you to get this, high paying job or whatever the case may be. And it was only later in life when she met her husband and he was like, oh no, that behavior changed.
Yes.
And so I think until you know better, that's just what you do. Like some people don't even, they don't even think that anything that they're doing is wrong. And it's like, what if she never met him? What, what would it have been, like?
Because even I think a fraud, and a lot of people like this, is the rent the runway. I didn't even know anything about it. And then once I found out, like, you could rent a bag, you can rent clothes, you could rent $1,000 stuff. I'm not renting nothing I can't keep. I'm so sorry.
Listen.
But I'm not knocking anybody who wants to do that. But I'm not going to spend all this money so that I can walk the runway and look like, listen, in my threads that I can afford, I'm going to walk the runway in that. Now, I think that it started for me probably in middle school, when my friends had certain sneakers or certain clothes.
Yeah.
And my clothes, actually, my aunt used to buy my clothes from Canada. So I was not, like, in vogue, but I had stylish clothes and it was different. It was different from everybody else. But it wasn't like, oh, you got the new kicks, I'm getting the new kicks. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, some of us, we've already established in previous videos that some of us are bougie and had a different upbringing, we was broke, okay?
I was
so
broke too.
whatever. If I wanted any stylish anything, it was coming from the thrift store at Goodwill. And so from that standpoint, I think that habit, because I realized that I can still get the Guess jeans. I can still get Nikes. Granted, somebody else done worn them. But
And watched them.
You don't know that though. You don't know that somebody else had this cute jacket before I did. Well, now you do. But
And it's cute.
thank you, girl. But so I just think that because we didn't have money, and even if I was sweating and looking at them shoes and going, I wish we could only afford the Kmart specials. And so because of that, I had to figure out a way to, if I wanted something extra, then I would need to figure out how to get it. But then it also, I think, made me not really care. And also, I went to that Muslim school all my life. We wore green tunics anyway. Ain't nobody care about those shoes. You couldn't see them. But I do think as I got older, I do have appreciation for style and fashion. And I do want Louboutins, but
I'm not paying for no
can't do
Louboutin.
it.
Listen, I need comfortable shoes on my feet.
I can't do
And
it.
sometimes these expensive brands, they are very beautiful. And I do desire them. But sometimes they are not comfortable for the feet. So
we will forego a little comfort. So let me tell you about this find, okay? 2 weeks ago, I want to say, in Bermuda, honey.
Okay.
I'm at the thrift store.
All right.
With my whole family. We shopping around or whatever. And I was like, is that a red bottom? Is that a red bottom I see over there? Girl, honey. Louboutins.
Oh!
In my size. $4.
What? and wait a minute, I got a secret. She makes bank. She makes bank. And she still goes to the thrift store. I'm not lying.
Wait a minute. Okay, granted, they probably about half an inch too small. You think I met Karen? I shoved my big ass in there. I was like, I'll take these. I'm like, please.
Alex for $4.
But listen.
I'll take the loot.
So I'm saying all that to say.
And they do sell it too, because I think my sister got some, I don't know if it was in DSW, and it depends on which ones you go to. I think it was like one in Buckhead or something like that. So you could still have those nice things.
Yeah, you can.
But you need to get them on sale if you cannot afford them. Okay?
Discount stores.
Okay, so this is a part of the show where I remind you again, please like and subscribe. And we also have some previous videos that you might want to look, like who taught us about sex,
About money.
about a plethora of other things. You know, that's my favorite word, plethora. It just rolls off the tongue like that.
Look.
Okay, so I want you to come back again and visit with us. We love seeing you, okay?
Yes.
So just wait for the next video. And we have to go right now. So bye.